right, you bunch of yahoos. Strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention.
Welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity with John the Predator Frye and yours truly, Dan Severn. We're here to entertain, offend, defend anybody and everybody. As long as you're a true American, we'll stand by you. Anybody else? It's hogwash. So, here we are.
Here we are. Let's take it away. It's telling people how stupid they are and how beautiful I am.
There you go, there, Mr. Frye. There you go.
All right.
And I think we'll keep letting people know that you're back in sunny Arizona there right now, while yours truly here is driving down the road here on Interstate 10, traveling east in a rainy storm here in the great state of Florida. I call it the great state because it's one of very few states that is open for business.
Yep, absolutely. Don Frye, the great Don Frye, was born there too. So, it's.
Well, see, now I just learned something I never knew before.
You see, because we've known each other for 50 years, and you just don't know anything. You never ask because you're always so busy talking about yourself.
Well, see, I thought you were hatched. I thought you were, I just the Predator Frye. Come on now. I didn't think any normal person could have had a normal birth or something like that with you. Come on.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a little fun here with some double D's in your face.
Say there, Tony, but this is double D's in your face. So it's Don and Dan, and we're going to be going after some hard hitting in your face types of questions.
All right, we're gonna start off with some fighter comparisons between just anybody we feel like talking about. So today we're going to start comparing Khabib and GSP.
No, I was going to say Dan Severn and Holly Holmes.
Well, that's not even a fair fight.
Well, Holly Holmes would have probably kicked my ass.
You know what? I'd pay her to kick mine. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun.
Well, she is good. That's one of her biggest fortes. She throws some wicked kicks.
Yes, she does. Pretty woman, too, man. I saw her up close, and, man, I'd about drop my hat.
No, Don Frye about dropped his hat?
Yep, she's a pretty woman, man. Very pretty. Good looking.
That says something. To be in an industry like, mixed martial arts, when the object is to kick and punch and elbow and knee people in the head, face, and body region. So, yeah.
Well, look at me. Hell, you and I stayed pretty after 20 years of it, so shit. Why can't the women?
I think that's just okay. Well, Tony, I'm not saying this down there, but as long as he still has that magical beer at his home, that's all that matters. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Yeah, who's the fairest of them all?
I hear you took all the mirrors down in your house. Freaking vampire.
Well, I have to put them lower on the ground there because I tried to do cartwheels through my living room.
All right, guys. So here we go. We're going to give you some stats on these guys real quick. First, you got GSP has got 26 wins, 2 losses, which first loss, they actually both happened in title fights. One was to Matt Hughes, lost by armbar. And then the other one,
I thought it was a knockout.
Well, the other one was to Matt Serra.
Oh, okay.
That was a knockout.
I got my two Matts.
Yeah, they were both to a Matt. Yeah,
that's right. Matt Serra was a knockout.
Yeah. So he did lose twice, and then obviously Khabib, 29-0, just retired. Probably, I would say, in the prime of his career. So no losses to give you there. So, just what do you guys think about these two guys? And if let's say if they even to match up, or if they were to fight, just give us first. What do you think about just their fighting styles?
Well, again, I'll just start off by just saying I've always been a big fan of GSP. I don't know if we were rolling at that time, but I am a big fan of GSP. I like the fact that he's a real student of the sport. He studies his opponent a great deal. He's always looking for those weaknesses. He knew that early on in his own game that I think he saw the viability of wrestling skill sets and how to incorporate them into his MMA game. And, I mean, to the point that he was so skilled in the sport of wrestling that the Canadian Olympic team wanted him to represent Canada in the Olympic Games. So that speaks very highly of him being just such an astute student of the game.
Now, do you really think he was that good, or they wanted him because of his name and all the notoriety and publicity he'd brought with him?
Well, Mr. Frye, you do bring up a good point. You do bring up a good point.
Always.
Well, I know. I guess you make me ponder at times, going, I didn't quite think of it quite that way, but I guess that's why they got you and I, the yin and the yang here, to try to see total differences of different possibilities.
The possible possibilities, yes.
Yes.
But there's only a 50-50 chance of that. But there's 30% chance of that.
I'll just go back to, I've always been a big fan of Hoyt, and GSP just how he conducted himself in interviews, how he conducted himself in his matches. That's just my personal preference. I was never into the trash talking competitor. I mean, even like when it came to boxing, I liked like a Muhammad Ali. He didn't have to go into any F-bomb dropping or that nature. He did it in a kind of a poetic, intelligent way.
And what about Khabib?
Well, again, Khabib, what I liked about Khabib was he represented the grappler's aspect. I mean, he was, he's definitely lacking in his striking ability. But at the same token, I always tell people that is still, it's sure, the fighters over the years, they've become more and more well-rounded. The reality is, if you want to be short-sighted in something, be short-sighted in the striking. And in my humble opinion, because the reality is, you have to be within arm's reach in order to punch someone, leg range to kick someone, knee range to the knee, elbow, the list goes on. Most of these grapplers are always good about staying just outside of that range after fighters start to commit themselves, or even in a quick exchange, the closing of the distance to where once you see these clinches take place, the clinch basically neutralizes almost 90+% of most strikers' arsenal. At least that's how I look at it. Just where you still have boxing matches that take place today, Muay Thai matches that are taking place, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, and boom. And everyone is about, they always end up getting in some type of a clinch position. And what happens? That referee, the man with the striped shirt, gets out there. Oh, no. Step back. None of this clinchy, huggy, touchy-feely type of stuff that's going to be taking place here. On my watch, we're here to punch, kick, elbow, knee, strike. So again, it's a set of rules. But when, and probably you know this also well because you were still competing in that no-holds-barred era to the mixed martial arts era, that when Eddie went, look again how the grapplers were reigning very supremely. I'd say out of the top 10 men, because women weren't competing in the beginning, 8 or 9 of them were actual amateur wrestlers who jumped into the MMA game. Sure, they learned some additional skills of how to strike. They learned some other additional skills of how to submit. But wrestling does teach you body positioning and body control.
Well, ideally, yeah.
That's just my humble opinion.
Ideally, you want to learn other aspects of the fighting style. Where that's one of the problems with wrestlers is their egos is so tremendous, and that's a detriment to them, and they won't learn how to box, and how to throw kicks, and 'cause a lot of them just say, well, that'll never happen to me. That'll never happen to me. It's like these idiot kickboxers will say, nobody will ever take me down. Yeah, they will, asshole. You'll be the first one to go down with just because that attitude.
Being a much more complete fighter today. You got grapplers that can strike with some of the best strikers, and you got some strikers that can now grapple with some of the best grapplers. So you are seeing a more complete athlete, and with each passing year, it's going to get better and better. I can't even imagine in another 5 to 10 years what type of athletes are going to be coming on the scene of mixed martial arts.
Right, you just got to be smart enough not to ditch what brought you to the game,
Exactly. Or never fighting your opponent's fight.
So back to GSP and Khabib. Don.
Yes.
What are your opinion on those fighters?
All right. What do you mean by my opinion?
Your opinion. Let's say start off with just who do you think would win in the fight?
Okay, that's my opinion. Because as far as martial arts artists, I think GSP is probably the more of a martial artist than probably about 99% of the people in the mixed martial arts. I mean, he's a dedicated martial artist, and in the way he conducts himself, and the way he fights, and the way he he just treats people. Because there's a way, like 7 or 9 steps to be a martial artist, and discipline and kindness and all that good stuff. And but I don't agree with the kindness thing. I think GSP's too kind on the outside and on the inside of the octagon. And I think Khabib's a killer, Khabib's there to win, and win at any means necessary. I think if Khabib would have fought back in the no-holds-barred era, he'd have probably killed about 3 or 4 people by now.
So, who do you think would win?
Oh, well, I'm going to go with Khabib because GSP's just too nice. And Khabib, you got to be a fucking asshole to be a good fighter, in my opinion. And Khabib, he meets that. He, when they close that door, he's all asshole, man. He's there to kill,
What about their styles? Think they're similar?
No, I don't, because I think GSP he goes back and forth, to being offensive and defensive, where Khabib is just straight offensive. He just goes straight ahead and never thinks about backing up, or GSP will dance around you, to get that kick or that hit.
That might all be part of his plan, is to press the action by advancing forward, forcing you to throw that strike, throw that kick, whatever, so that he's still looking, his arsenal is still, he wants to get to that clinch. He will throw some strikes, but his strikes are not known, I should say, he's really not known for his striking ability. I mean, he's still a young guy. He can still improve a great deal, but his real, all his game was going to be taking someone down to the mat, and eventually he was going to submit them down on that ground. But he's going to punish him strike-wise down the ground and pound is still, it worked. Ground and pound worked way back in the no-holds-barred era. It's still the number one way in the MMA industry today. Very barbaric, but so effective.
Right. I mean, once he takes you down, how does he finish you? Does he finish you with punches, or does he finish you with the submission?
Well, basically, it looks like he's finished most people with submission holds.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But he'll open you up with strikes.
Right. So then he does have good striking ability.
Well, again, not so much on his feet. Only, I mean, when he gets on the ground and someone is, once he takes you back, and that's what he's trying to do. Most times he's looking to take that back. At least in the few matches that I've seen. Can I say I'm an expert on him? No, I'm really not. But from what I've seen, that is his primary game plan is to get to those takedowns. He's going to finish you off with some type of a submission. Could be an armbar, could be a choke, but he's going to open you up with strikes.
Yeah, but I mean he basically doesn't need the striking on his feet. He just uses it just to close the distance then.
Well, again, you can't just march in on someone without the risk of getting punched, kicked, elbowed, or knee yourself. So
right, but nobody in his weight class has caused any damage. I mean, he has no fear of being knocked out. You know, I mean, they've hit him, they've kicked him, and he just wades right through it.
Yeah, well, again, that speaks volumes about not only about him, but then also, you know this just from your own travel to other countries. The opportunity of him to come to the United States, for him to compete in an event like this, for him to take back U.S. dollars and to convert them into rubles. I mean, can you even fathom as to how rich he's got to be in his home country?
Just a quick stat for you guys. Khabib's finished 11 of his fights by submission and 8 by knockout or TKO.
Yeah, but that would be because he's still trying to open him up for the submission, but he's got that position advantage and he's public to it. But it's still because of Khabib's grappling ability that he's able to maintain the positions of advantage. Again, that's just my humble opinion. And we're all entitled to our opinions. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good.
It's just like the mirror.
I don't know. I've got a magical mirror too. It just thinks I'm just doing just fine. I just keep getting better with time.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.